So in this episode, I will be applying more paint to the base, and then I'll be sanding the base, and then I'll be applying some clear coat to the base. But many more mistakes are going to happen along the way. So stay tuned to see what those are, and how I deal with it. This would be my new batch of pink. That is a thinner coat, a higher pressure, thicker paint, and no drips. So last time this was like a shower basically of dripping paint. So I made it much thicker, or not much thicker, but quite a bit thicker. I just saw a fly hop around on there. Get off of there, you. See this fucker? He just landed there. So I just covered the back with my second batch of paint, and it sat overnight, and I think it got a little cold and a little thicker, and I had a little problem with it. I ended up overcompensating again, and look at what we have here. It's the same problem as before, but this time not as bad. So I can still fix it. I mixed the paint a little too thick, so overcompensated, resulting in more sanding needed to be done. Let's see here if I can actually get it up close. I don't know if it'll focus. I'm thinking that when I do have to repaint this, I might go for some sort of indoor solution. It's water-based, so odors are not an issue. But I'm not sure what to do, if I should try an airbrush or maybe just use a brush. At this point we are about 3-4 coats in on the edges, and they are starting to come together and look uniform. I was smart enough to save some of the paint mix that I had made for the spray gun, just in case I needed touch-ups, because since this is custom mixed paint, getting the same shade can be difficult, if not impossible, especially if you're me. But this is just the top, and I'm going to turn the body over and do the same thing on the back of it. Once this has, I think, had 1 or 2 more coats, and then had a chance to sit and dry for a bit. I'm almost ready to put on the first layer of wipe-on poly. I've mixed this pigment into the water-based wipe-on poly. So I just finished putting on the first clear coat layer, and I'm seeing some streaks, and I'm wondering if I should just leave that alone and see if I can even it out by adding multiple layers. I think I'm gonna leave this first coat be, add a second coat, and then see if it evens out at all. I mean, you can really see it here. Super streaky still. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see. So what I'm doing is I'm using wipe-on poly, and wipe-on poly that's tinted with the pinkish pink, right? I roll this rag up like this, put a rubber band on it, and I use that to sort of dip into the polyurethane, and then I wipe it across like this. My wife said it best. She said, it's like painting a toenail. The first coat is always like this, splotchy and streaky, and then you add more, and then it gets better and better, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'll zoom back out, and we'll do a coat. like to stir it up a little bit. I'm running low on this, which means I have to mix a new batch. So I basically just do like this. I just put on a thin layer. And it's so thin, it's hard to even tell if I've done it yet. Here. The bottom part. I try to just go one direction so that the streaks and stuff that I do get are just that, streaks, and not, see, I got a hair in there, and not circles, which is what I would get if I went like this. So I'm just doing streaks, and that's fine, and then I will level it out when I sand it. I think we're there. Make sure that I don't have any terrible drips and runs. I like to go along the edge just really quick, like I had a little one there. I don't really count. I just keep going until it looks good. But oh, see, that came out here. Had a little caught down there in the pocket. Just gonna use paper towel just to suck that up, any excess I have down there, so we don't have any more accidents. I don't want to do too much more. I'm just going to leave it like this, go rinse my rag, and let this dry. It takes 15 minutes, and I can do another coat. I wanted to just quickly show one last thing, and that is compare the tone that is on the top now with the tone that's on the bottom. Because this, as I said, has 6 or 7 coats now, and the bottom only has 2. Because I stopped after 2 coats on the bottom to compare. You can see this much lighter, still streaky. But if you compare it with this, you can really see that it is getting pinker and more deep, a more deep color. So as you can see, there's still a lot of work to be done on the base. This is a hobby project, so I'm not exactly rushing it. It'll be interesting to see how that finish turns out. I don't really know if I should get my hopes up. I don't really have my hopes up. Worst case scenario, I have to sand it way back down, and then probably try to use a paint gun to get a more even spread of the tinted polyurethane. If I can get to a point where I get an even enough spread with this wipe-on poly that I like the results. Right now it's too streaky for me, but yeah, it's a lot of mistakes. That's what happens when you mix a bunch of new techniques that you've never tried before, new materials you've never tried before. It's learning by doing, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm learning as I go, and you're learning along with me. So if you want to see how this ends, or the next step, next phase of this, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the little bell icon. That way you get a notification when there's a new episode. So do that. And thank you for watching. And yeah, the saga will continue.